We're like a month away from WWDC 25, and since the last video that I made about it, well, more specifically iOS 19, something has changed. And bro, what the hell is wrong with my eye? Damn. Alright, let's talk about it. So as we all know, iOS 19 is gonna be probably the biggest update for iPhones, like ever. And since the iOS 7, nothing has really changed. Like the design language is the same, icons are the same, and everything looks boring. They changed something in iOS 18, but it just made it worse. The optimization was bad, and it still is. iOS 19 is gonna be even bigger in terms of changes, of course, and it's gonna be probably better optimized. So right off the bat, let me tell you about this, that this is probably the closest thing that we know about iOS 19, and it's probably the thing that you're gonna see when you watch the WWDC 25. And looks like this changes is not only for iPhones, it's gonna be for iPads, macOS, and maybe visionOS. And talking about visionOS, for those who don't know, iOS 19, the new iPadOS and the new macOS is basically gonna be inspired by the elements and the visual aesthetics of visionOS. And you know, everything up until now was some kind of rumors and leaks, and some of them were just some renders based off those rumors. And it was beautiful indeed, but that wasn't kind of a big redesign. Up until now, everything about iOS was basic and some kind of classy, but it's gonna change in more of a fun way. Leaks show that the notifications and everything and every element on the lock screen is gonna be like floating. They like move when you rotate or tilt your device, and Apple's also gonna use this fun stuff and tweaks in the entire OS. And I'm gonna show it to you. This one's small, but it's noticeable, and it's the toggles. Right now, it's rounded, but it's not gonna be rounded anymore. It's gonna be more modernized. The first thing that you're gonna encounter with when you set up your iPhone with iOS 19 for the first time is the home screen and icon. What we knew about the icons on the home screen up until now was that the icons are gonna be rounded, and it's kinda true. Right now, icons are in more of a squircle design. You know, it's in a square, but the edges are rounded, and it's gonna be even more rounded. But not too much. I mean, too much of a rounded design is gonna look like Pixel, and Apple does not want their iPhones to be like Androids. So yeah. But Android phones let you to choose the icon style that you want, but Apple doesn't. So, I mean, though apart from all the things that I said, and apart from the shape and the size of the icons, everything about the home screen and icons and the design of the icons is gonna be the same. Because, you know, it's okay and there's no need to change that. Like last year we got dark mode icons, which looks pretty cool. And like I said, all this kind of modernization and some kind of minimalistic design changes is gonna be across all the operating system. Remember what I said about the lock screen? I said that everything, like the notifications and the toggles and every single thing on the lock screen is gonna be like floating and it looks kinda fresh. This is exactly the same case for the camera app. Like now, the main menu of the camera app is changing. You don't need to swipe left or right to change to the modes that you want anymore. You just have to simply swipe up and tap on the mode that you want to use. And that's it. And it's not into your face. And as you can see, it's kinda translucent and it kind of floats, which kinda looks like a premium camera app, if I don't jinx it and it doesn't lag. Another thing which is related to the camera app is the Photos app. And the Photos app that Apple introduced with iOS 18 is the ugliest Photos app I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, look at it. Like, what? What the hell is this? Everything is so messed up and mixed up compared to the iOS 17, and it's too complicated. You just have to swipe down, go through albums, choose the videos, and the stupid video player, and
iOS 18 brings the biggest
I am desperately asking and one thing from Apple to change the Photos app in iOS 19. This is a disaster. When I install iOS 19 on my iPhone and I see this stupid Photos app, I'm gonna just go for the Google Photos app. I swear to God. Apart from all these things that I talked about and the features that I showed you, there's one new feature in iOS 19 which is gonna make iPhone look like heaven. I'll get into it, but let me give you an example first. iPhones are getting bigger and bigger over time, right? Like now, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is at 6.9 inches. Nice. Back in the iPhone 12 days, if you had the iPhone 12 Pro Max and you wanted to search something using Safari, you should have used both of your hands. One of them to hold the phone and one of them to tap on the address bar to search for the things that you wanted to search for. But later on, with the introduction of iOS 15, Apple brought down the address bar to the bottom, so the only thing that you needed to search something on Safari was to hold your phone with your hand and using the thumb of the same hand to tap on the address bar and search for the thing that you wanted to search for. Apple's gonna do the same awesome move and bring search elements and some kind of media down there to the bottom of your iPhone. And I really think that this is gonna be the thing in iOS 19 because, like I said, iPhones are getting bigger and bigger over time. And as you can see in the leaks, it looks beautiful and it's much easier to use because you just have to simply tap down there with your thumb. So there's another rumor that says that Apple is gonna change the way of multitasking on your iPhone. Not directly on your iPhone, no. The rumor indicates that Apple is gonna bring the Mac mode, or I better say iPad mode, to the iPhones which use the USB-C port. Basically the iPhone 15 and newer models. And if it doesn't sound familiar, yep, that's Samsung VIX copycat right there. I mean, it's a good thing to happen because, you know, sometimes you want to just plug your iPhone to the monitor and take the advantage of that big screen. And this allows you to open multiple apps without needing to switch between them and use them without any disturbance. And if they do it, it basically looks like iPadOS. It does have the Stage Manager and it does have the dock. So the next big change, which kind of most of the people are hoping to happen right now, is for the AI and the Apple Not So Intelligent. You know, with the introduction of iOS 18 and AI and the Apple Intelligent nonsense, they said that more complicated stuff and tasks is gonna be in the hands of ChatGPT, which is a pretty good thing. But it's gonna be some kind of slow because you ask Siri, Siri asks ChatGPT, ChatGPT asks the databases, and the databases give the answers to you. Why? Because Siri sucks. But they're not gonna stop there. They're gonna integrate the Google Gemini, which is very intelligent. And this integration and getting help from other companies like Google and OpenAI is a pretty good thing to do. And who knows, maybe they just integrate DeepSeek with the China version of the iPhone. But apart from the jokes, this is gonna happen right around the time that Apple is gonna introduce the new iPhone 17 lineup. And you know, it's kind of hard to believe that Apple's getting help from other companies and other third-party companies because they always think they're the best. They say that we're the best, we don't need help from anyone, we can do everything that we want, and even if we bring something that doesn't work, the customers will appreciate it. The next big change is also about the AI, but it's kinda different, you know. Apparently Apple's gonna change the default search engine on the iPhones. Previously, I think from the first iPhone, Google was the default search engine for iPhones. And they may change it to Gemini or ChatGPT. I don't know how many of you use ChatGPT as your default search engine, but it's very amazing and it's very precise. If you want to search for some cooking recipes on Google, it just shows you tons of ads and pictures and videos which are irrelevant. Okay, maybe some of them are relevant, I know, but if you use ChatGPT and just ask for the thing that you want, it just simply gives you the direct answer right away without any disturbance and delay. How cool is that? Now imagine this is gonna be your default search engine on your iPhone. I mean, I'm up for it. Because, you know, even if it's Gemini, I'm also up for it. Even though the Gemini is for Google, but... So yeah, at the end of the day, I think the new design of iOS, the Gemini integration, and ChatGPT as your default search engine is gonna be amazing, cool, and beautiful. Now imagine all these cool things on your iPhone. So make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to get the latest news, if the latest news are published. And as always, thanks for watching. This is ByteForge and I see you in the next one. I'll better get my eyes checked.